Hi, my name is Dr. Todd Austin from Austin Family Chiropractic in Verdon, Illinois, and welcome to this episode of the Dr. Todd Show. My guest today is Janet Cook. She's a certified holistic health coach and owner of Vivacious Wellness in Springfield, Illinois. Janet has studied at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, the largest nutrition school in the country and internationally. After years of struggling with her health, Janet coaches individuals and groups on both lifestyle creation and on primary and secondary foods. Janet focuses on clean eating, the 90-10 rule, regular exercise, primary and secondary foods. Tonight's topic is on procrastination and its deleterious effects on one's health. Please help me welcome Janet Cook to the show.
Hey, Dr.
Welcome, Janet. We're going to talk about procrastination on the show tonight.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say something that I have at least 5 other people that have committed to be on the show.
Uh-huh.
And yet some of them have made that commitment 2 or 3 months ago, and they just, well, there's stuff going on. I haven't got around to it. You and I met on Facebook.
That's right.
And we were in a discussion a week ago today. Some people were chiming in about all the wonderful, positive thoughts that you put on Facebook.
Yes.
And I said, well, I'd love to have Janet on the show someday. And so, lo and behold, now 7 days later, we're doing the show. So that tells me that this lady, Janet Cook, is not a procrastinator.
I'm a recovering procrastinator.
Recovering procrastinator.
I am.
Okay.
I'm a recovering procrastinator, so it's a work in progress.
And so I know that a lot of people do have a tendency to procrastinate.
Sure.
You don't, there's much anymore.
Well, everybody has the ability to procrastinate, and
True.
there's just things we all want to get away from what we perceive as pain, and we all want to do things that are fun and pleasurable.
True.
So that's where I come in, and with my work on myself, enable and empower people to realize what's the cause and effect of their procrastination. So, and a lot of times it comes into a health situation.
So what kind of health problems have you seen arise from people being procrastinators?
Well, a lot of people say, I'm going to lose weight, I know I need to make changes, I know this, I am going to do this, and then Monday never comes. So the common thing that we see right now, and I'm sure in your practice, that it's becoming the new year and people are like, oh, I need to lose weight. And then they have that intention, but they never create a plan.
True.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I personally work on is, what is the cause of the procrastination? Is it fear of being successful? Is it fear of having to give up your favorite foods? Is it the rebellious rebel, which I have a relationship with? Is it also that people are afraid to change? So all those things that come into play, and then the mindset is what then is the cause. I can't do it, or this is too hard, so people just throw up their hands and just forget about it. So we see people gaining weight at a rapid pace, people's health declining, and then just a multitude of other health problems just create over time, and then to where people get into a health crisis, and sometimes it's too late.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is the best approach that you have found to address that with
procrastination?
your clients?
Okay. So one of the things, a lot of times people come to me and say, well, I want to lose weight. And so we'll have our initial consultation. I'll sit there, and I typically see a trend among women is that we are natural caregivers, and that we're giving to everybody else. And so that when it comes time to take care of ourselves, there's nothing left. So there's not enough energy to exercise. There's not enough energy to want to cook healthy, nutritious meals. The desire to implement extreme self-care is just not there. So I call it a case of the whatevers.
Yeah,
and so
true.
then they just all, all the best laid plans and everything just go completely away. And then that's where people go back, well, see, I told you so, like in the mind's like
True.
disappointed, this doesn't work. It's just same thing with creating a lifestyle, is having a plan and looking at creating that time each day to create a system. Like, so if people get into overwhelm, I help them with meal planning and planning your work and eating your plan. I kind of joke.
Okay.
And then making sure that there's other things in there that help support what people say. And
Okay.
then, but I really do find that people get overwhelmed and overloaded and then just fall back into their old habits. But
Yeah, and one of the things that makes me think of when you talk about people that, particularly women, that do everything for everyone else and they have nothing left, no time left to take care of themselves.
right.
That's one of the things that can set up a serotonin deficiency, which is the happy hormone,
Right.
which can lead them to then get put on antidepressants. It could also eventually lead to fibromyalgia.
That's
so
it.
most people
Yeah.
with most people with fibromyalgia and or chronic fatigue syndrome, they're people that they've never had time to take care of themselves.
That's true, and I see a lot of people with adrenal fatigue issues.
Exactly.
That's all tied into the fibromyalgia,
True.
and a lot of people, just especially women, just don't really realize how important it is to take care of themselves. And I know I study with a coach. His name is Jeffrey Combs, and he is the master of teaching people about recovery and procrastination. So one of the things are, there's 6 different types of people who procrastinate. There's the perfectionist, there's the big deal chaser, there's the worrier, there's the rebellious rebel, the drama addict, and the angry giver. So when people can really identify with one or more of those and just see how it shows up in your life, chances are you're doing this in every area of your life. So one of the things I really work on with people is to see what is the root cause. I know I studied with Janine Roth, who's an amazing author on diets and self-image and body image, and she talks about, like, for example, one of my coaching clients, I said to her, whose attention are you trying to get by being self-sabotaging and destructive? Whose attention are you trying to get? And Janine, I did this exercise, and it's really about getting your own attention and realizing what the binges or the acting out or the eating poorly is about. And so when people can make that connection, that's really freeing. And just having that mindfulness. I know sometimes I go all day long, and I'm exhausted, and then I come home and I'm not hungry, but I find myself at the cabinet getting more than a handful of cashews, when I know that's not what's supporting what I want. But it's a journey, and people get so caught up on being perfect, and I think again that goes back to the procrastination factor. Being too harsh on oneself and not understanding what we need to feed ourselves with. And we
True.
talked a little bit about primary foods. At the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, we talk about career or work that you love, having loving, supportive relationships, some type of spiritual practice, and it doesn't necessarily have to be going to church, and then some type of regular exercise several times a week. So breaking a sweat for 30 minutes, and how important those components are in our lives. And then I don't know if you remember, like when we were kids and your mom or dad would call out and say, "Kids, time for dinner," and you're like, 5 more minutes.
True.
And you don't think about food. So that's where, again, what I do is help people to look at what's feeding them in their lives, or maybe what's draining them. Like I spoke with a client today. He's a recovering drama addict, and he just
I know several of those on Facebook.
right. and God love him, but he's creating all this drama because he's addicted to it.
Oh, wow.
But then it drains him, and then his health gets calls into question, and he starts binging.
Wow.
Yeah, because he goes up and down in his weight. So it's yeah, it's a roller coaster ride, and it's mastery. It's just the determination to want to achieve better
True.
without beating yourself up all
True.
the time.
Well, thank you for being on the show today, Janet,
you.
and thank you for sharing tips on how to get over procrastination and hopefully improve our health.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and have a great day.